Hello out there in television land. Welcome to It's Your Health. I'm here with my bride to give you the best and latest in healthcare information. Remember to check with your healthcare provider before doing any of the things that we talk about here on It's Your Health, especially her. And, we'll be right back after this brief commercial message. Remember, you're watching It's Your Health, your leader in healthcare information. Welcome back to the first edition.
Where did this come from?
What are you talking about?
What is this?
Explain.
Do you see the people from Star Trek?
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then one says to the other one, I haven't talked to my wife in 10 years. And he says it's because she's never shut up.
You know what? I think Sammy put that in.
Was that
You're blaming
accidental?
me for something that Sammy put in.
I don't think Sammy would do. I think we better do our
St. Patrick's themed show, correct?
St. Patrick celebrates the life of who else? St. Patrick. He's the patron saint of Ireland. He's been credited with bringing Christianity to Ireland. It takes place March 17th every year because that's believed to be the day of his death, March 17th, the year 461. And the church now also celebrates it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that St. Patrick is not a saint because they didn't start doing sainthoods, and he's considered a folk saint, if you will. And he's not Irish, by the way. He's from Britain. I think, and he was kidnapped over to Ireland and then brought Christianity. But I thought I'd just throw that in as
You got rid of the snakes, too.
Except in our house.
They haven't been in the house. They've only been on the porch.
Oh, okay.
That's close enough. Okay, next headline. Microwaving food in plastic containers. We've been warned not to heat food in plastic containers in the microwave oven because this can result in the migration of harmful plastic components into your food, which means into you.
I found that very interesting. It's estimated that if you reheat food in a microwave, you are going to be ingesting approximately a credit card's worth of plastic every week. So, and these things aren't good for you. So I would not heat anything plastic in a microwave. Of course, you can use ceramics or bowls that are microwave friendly.
You want to look out on all your packages that you're buying for BPA and phthalates. You don't want them in there, or they are the big problem. They affect fertility, the immune system, malignancies, and even disabilities.
Yeah, not good stuff. So
stay free, and whenever he's cooking, he uses a glass container.
Absolutely, and stay away from the microwave. I think we've proven before it gives out bad waves.
Well, you can use the microwave, just walk away from it while it's working.
Good point.
Testosterone therapy sites often fail to convey potential risks. Demand for testosterone therapy has soared in the United States, with more men seeking to increase hormone levels in hopes of enhancing virility, strength, and energy.
Well, most of you out there in television land do not have low testosterone levels, but you may feel like you do because maybe you're tired, weak, having some weight gain, lost some lead in your pencil. And so online sites can provide you testosterone replacement, but they're not monitoring the medication, and they're not monitoring the side effects, which can be very, very ill, if you will. So
they offer these therapies to men who don't meet the need for them. and they don't convey what the risks and limitations are.
Yeah, so you got to be careful about doing that. If you're going to pursue it, make sure you see your healthcare professional and get it done correctly for the right reason and correct follow-up.
Okay, those are the headlines.
Okay.
Now I have something that you can talk about.
Finally, go ahead.
Lucky you.
Okay.
The number of daily meals, not intermittent fasting, associated with long-term weight change. What does that mean?
Well, there was in vogue this idea of, listen, I'm not going to start eating until noon. I'll do intermittent fasting, and in that way I will tend to lose weight. And it turns out it really doesn't matter.
Oh.
It's calories in, calories out. You could have one meal at a fast food chain which would daily surpass your caloric intake. So this intermittent fasting doesn't really hold a lot of weight. You got to do portion control, count your calories.
Exercise.
And exercise. Good point.
One of my favorite things.
Mine too.
We should talk. Okay, the next one is an unusual one. We're talking about borderline personality disorders. Individuals with this have difficulty regulating their emotions, and that can result in a whole bunch of things. Should I go through those?
Yeah, why not?
Well, mood swings, views of others. They may see somebody as bad or somebody as good. They don't understand their own identity. They're impulsive. It's difficult for them to keep a job, and they frequently use medical services.
Yeah, they claim that the borderline personality disorders are perhaps 3% of the population, but I swear it's a little higher. And we all know people who are like this. And the unfortunate thing is they are not diagnosed, and more unfortunate are not treated. Now, unfortunately, the treatment of this does not require or will respond to a medication. So,
No, it does not respond to any medications.
so it's not like anxiety and depression. It will respond to psychotherapy or talk therapy. And you know, it's kind of odd that we spend so much time and effort treating hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, screening for cancer. Mental health is very thin.
Yeah.
And we don't really recognize it. It's something we don't put our arms around and try to help. And so it's very, and I think our country's paying the price for it if you look around and read the newspapers.
Those people shooting other people. Anyway, the risk of this disease is usually genetic, somebody in your family, or a history of child abuse, emotional, physical, sexual, any kind, or having been neglected. Those seem to have an effect on it.
I think I'm neglected sometimes, but I won't
Are
get into
you?
that. Yes, I am.
Tell me how you're neglected.
I think we're almost out of time.
What-
I don't have enough time.
Are we out of time?
Let's do one more question, perhaps.
Why do my ears feel clogged?
Good question.
Thank you.
It could be infection. It could be fluid on the ears, backed up from the sinuses. It could be earwax. Some patients who have had noise exposure can have a high-frequency hearing loss, and they'll kind of ring and sing and feel like they're blocked. But get it checked out, and I'm sure we can come to an answer and a conclusion.
If it lasts more than 2 days, you need to see your doctor. And you can feel that when you're traveling by air, and your allergies can cause that also.
Very good. Well, that wraps up our first segment of It's Your Health. We'll be right back after this brief commercial message. Do us a personal favor. Call our sponsors. Tell them you heard it on It's Your Health.
And you love It's Your Health.
Okay. We'll be right back. Welcome back to this second segment of It's Your Health.
You see that?
Benyo with...
Do you see that?
See what?
Do you see that poor woman who can't lay in her bed because it's on fire?
I see that. Is that you?
That's me when I get my hot flashes.
Oh, is that what happens?
I feel exactly like that, like everything is on fire around me. I just thought I would point that out to you.
I'm glad you pointed out. Unfortunately, I don't have a cure for that, but Welcome back to the second segment of
Okay.
our St. Patrick themed It's Your
Okay,
Health.
then I'm going to ask you questions.
All
Let's
right.
see how much you know about. You
Oh.
are Irish,
Yes,
aren't you?
yes,
I
we
am
have-
not Irish. I have the name Kathleen, which is Irish, but nothing else about me is Irish.
It's always about you. What are you talking about? So go ahead.
You know you're going to pay for these comments,
right?
don't you?
Okay.
Okay. How many pounds of green vegetable dye are used to turn the Chicago River green?
I don't have a clue, but you don't have to go to Chicago. You can go to the Jetto Tunnel in Drums. It's green all the
That's
all
not
the
the
time.
kind of green they mean.
Okay. How many? How much?
40 pounds.
No kidding. Wow. And does a good job.
According to legend, what happened during one of St. Patrick's sermons on the Irish hillside? And I gave you a clue earlier.
I think it's the snakes, right? Snakes went away.
Yep, he while he was speaking, all the snakes left
Wow.
Ireland.
Very
How
good.
do you like that?
I like that.
One more, and this is an easy one. According to legend, what did St. Patrick use to describe the Holy Trinity?
I think it was the three-leaf clover.
The
right?
shamrock.
The shamrock. Okay, I guessed correctly then.
Yeah, you guessed that one right. Or else you were looking over my stuff. I'm not sure which. Okay. Hydrochlorothiazide. How did I do?
Very good.
And prevention of kidney stone recurrence. The most common conditions affecting the kidney, and it's a high risk of recurrence.
Kidney stones, if you had them out there in television land, you know you can suffer, and they are recurrent. In the olden days, we used to give a water pill, hydrochlorothiazide, thinking it would either prevent them from happening or help you pass them. Turns out it really doesn't do either. So if you have kidney stones, you're going to have to come up with a different way. Hydration is key, staying away from things that have oxalate in them. Particularly teas is important because they're usually made out of calcium oxalate. But
Don't you have to have surgery when you have kidney stones?
occasionally, if they're big enough and they're blocking the kidney, that you have to go up there and retrieve them or have them blasted out. But usually you can pass them if they're small.
Good. Okay. This one I had to read twice because I just couldn't believe it. COVID vaccine hesitancy and the risk of a traffic crash.
That was unbelievable. That was in what's called the Green Journal in Medicine, which is well respected. And basically put is if you did not have the COVID vaccine and then later became ill, EMS was activated to rush you to the hospital, and that event was associated with an increased risk of traffic crashes. So there it is. You can see it on that particular graph. I found that rather interesting.
Those people who did not receive a vaccine were more likely to have a diagnosis of alcohol misuse or depression, and that could have something to do with getting in a car accident.
Yeah, that's true.
Sugar sweetened and artificially sweetened beverage consumption and risk of cardiovascular health. Increasing consumption of sugar-sweetened and artificially sweetened beverages may be correlated with an increased risk of developing cardiovascular and vascular complications and even mortality.
Well, I think what happened was people said, well, I'm going to have a diet soda, and by doing that, I'm going to decrease my cardiovascular risk because I'm staying away from sugary stuff, which we know will increase the chance of diabetes and heart disease and stroke. Well, it turns out if you're drinking diet sodas and still having fast foods, washing your French fries and Big Mac down with a Diet Coke, it's not going to help.
No.
So I think some people transfer their food habits and say, well, I'm drinking something that's a diet, but nevertheless, I haven't changed my diet.
And you should recommend that people be discouraged from drinking sugar-sweetened drinks and avoid soda, tea, and juice.
Well, yeah, I think
Some juices are natural.
natural fruits and sweets I don't believe are a big issue.
Our very next one is how to stop those sugar cravings. Because if you're somebody who drinks that,
Yes, you're sweet
okay,
enough.
I know. It's a highly addictive substance. It affects your brain the same way drugs do.
Well, they feel as though you have a sugar low and you don't feel well, so you ingest something that's either carbohydrate related. Your sugar goes up, your insulin levels generally should respond to that by going up, which then will drive your sugar down so that you're not going to feel worse, even though you initially felt better. So you are on this roller coaster of sugar craving, which we illustrate here for you. The sugar roller coaster.
Roller coaster. You get weight gain, especially around your belly. You get tired. You get brain fog, hormonal imbalance, more cravings, depression, and anxiety. Sugar's effect can seep into your whole system. Sugar and carbohydrates are mostly stored in the liver until it gets full. Then your body has to make fat from the excess sugar. That fat gets added to existing fat around your body and you gain weight.
Right. So can you give our listening audience, sweetheart, sweet steps to stop your sugar cravings?
If you have to have sugar, put something with it like nuts or some kind of a protein, because that will help. Try going without sugar for 3 to 5 days. If you can go that long, you'll notice a difference and it'll encourage you to keep doing it. 3 to 5 days, no sugar.
Go into withdrawal there.
Yeah. Watch out for acid-forming foods and see if you have any food sensitivities, such as gluten, dairy, corn, eggs, soy, peanuts, and citrus. They're the most common ones. You might need to try an elimination diet to see.
Sometimes adding some vitamins like zinc, for example, vitamin C, can kind of tone down the sugar cravings. So I know out there in television land, you're craving for more. Don't touch your dial. Remember, you're listening to It's Your Health. We'll be right back after this
Maybe
brief
they're watching it.
commercial message. Thank you. Welcome back to the final segment.
This is mine. Did you see what's up there?
Yeah, I kind of closed one eye.
Yeah, it says, I got a puppy for my husband.
Okay.
It was a good trade.
I figured as much.
Okay.
Welcome back, as I was starting to say, to the third segment of It's Your Health, and with my bride, and we're following through on our St. Patrick's theme. Can you enlighten us some more, sweetheart?
I certainly can. It stopped being a holy day. It was once, St. Patrick's Day was once a holy day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's not anymore. And before he became a missionary, he was kidnapped at the age of 16 and taken to Ireland as a slave.
Whoa. Okay, moving right along.
Okay, next headline. Family estrangement. Family estrangement is a suspension of direct communication between relatives, often triggered by a conflict. It's followed by periods of avoidance and withdrawal, and it occurs between siblings and extended relatives.
See it all the time. You don't have to look at the British tabloids to see it here. We usually see it when there's an illness in a family or there's conflict after someone passes, who's going to divide this and that. And you'd be surprised how dysfunctional families can become when they're under stress.
When someone you care about hurts you, you can hold on to anger and resentment or embrace forgiveness and move forward. Forgiveness can lead you down the path of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Anything to say about that?
Well, I think it's true. And when you sort of tease out the reasons why you're anxious and depressed, it is generally interpersonal relationships that have gotten in the way. And let's face it, we're all on the same team. We're all human. We all have human needs. And to have these crosses that we carry, it just drags you down. You go to sleep with these issues, you wake up with these issues, and again,
there are benefits of forgiving someone. You're healthier, improved your mental health, less anxiety and stress, less depression, lower blood sugar, stronger immune system, improved heart health, and self-esteem. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And sometimes when you try to make amends, the other person won't accept it.
yeah, and it's a stone in your shoe. And I think for a New Year's resolution, try to get that stone out of your shoe and make peace.
Okay, next headline. Adequate hydration may slow biological aging and reduce disease risk. Why do I hate water? I hate to drink water.
Yeah. Well, you know, the earth is 70% water. Our bodies are 70% water, but our diet is not. And so there's a real contradistinction there. And so what I think you should do is somehow increase hydration. You can perhaps get something to sprinkle in your water to make it taste like Coke, if
Yeah.
that exists. But seriously, we are generally dehydrated, and that affects all organs. So hydration is key to success.
Especially for diabetes and for your kidney function.
Yep.
And every time, when I hear him on the phone with patients, he's always telling them, hydrate. No matter what their problem is, he tells them, hydrate.
Well, get a load of this list of some of the surprising signs of dehydration. Maybe you can walk through that, sweetheart.
Well, you're tired all the time.
Yep.
Your skin is dry. Your digestion is poor. You have bad breath. You have carb cravings. You get headaches. Not enough water will give you a headache. Foggy thinking, constipation, worsening of allergies, asthma, and arthritis. When you have your first urine in the morning, you should check and see how dark it is. The darker, the worser. So you want to have a light urine.
And people generally don't like to hydrate because, let's face it, we're on the move, and who wants to be looking for a bathroom every couple of hours? But you got to do it.
Take the water, add some chunks of fruit or a splash of juice, even some herbs such as mint, basil, thyme, rosemary, ginger. They're supposed to be real good for your...
Or at this time, Guinness, right? I mean, let's face it, we are
Guinness.
talking St. Patrick's. So.
I don't think that's water.
Okay, well, some of it is.
Home blood pressure monitoring. I guess they don't have a husband who's a doctor at home who does it for them.
But they work very well. The home blood pressure monitoring devices are generally accurate. Some patients don't know how to do it, so we have them bring in their machine for two reasons: to show them how to use it and to make sure that the readings they're getting we can believe in. Thank you for joining us, allowing us to come into your home, hopefully to inform you and entertain you, correct?
Absolutely. He is so right.
It's all right. That's the first time you've ever said that.
Probably.
35 years of marriage. Or is it
30.
long? Oh, it seems like 35. Well, anyway, again, call our sponsors. Tell me you heard it on It's Your Health. Thank you, Sam, Samsung Productions, for making us #1.
Thank you, Sammy.